are the OK Factor from Minneapolis, Minnesota. We are in Rochester doing residency work with the Choral Arts Ensemble. We're in the schools as a part of a CMAC grant, and we're doing a fair amount of other community outreach.
At Choral Arts Ensemble, we were trying to plan the coming concert season, talking about different collaborations or ways that we can make the season as interesting as possible. And I'd just been listening to one of their tunes, and so I just suggested to Rick Kvam, our artistic director, I said, let's look into a collaboration with OK Factor.
I listened to their one of their cuts on their website or YouTube, and I was very impressed. Boy, they play, and they just play so energetically and with such joy, and they're in tune and they're in rhythm, and it's really terrific.
Then the whole thing kind of snowballed from there into this week-long residency.
So we're here for an entire week, working with the schools, working with the community, and really just trying to create a meaningful experience, a meaningful musical experience.
Lunch and Learn is a program that happens every month, but it's part of the Rochester Music Guild, which is a group of folks that are their mission is to enhance the musical life in Rochester, and it's just a really important organization of music lovers in Rochester. And so Lunch and Learn is a way that you can bring local artists or visiting artists and expose them to the community in a way they wouldn't be able to be interacting in a concert atmosphere where people can ask questions. It gives the artists an opportunity to explain a little bit more about their work and how they put music together, how they perform, how they compose. And it's a way of creating a greater sense of connection between audience and performer.
It's been a real joy working with them. They're just so easygoing, They're young and enthusiastic. They love what they do, and it just they bring that energy to everything. So it's infectious. It's a lot of fun to feed off of that.
In addition to being just fabulous musicians, Olivia and Carla are just fabulous people. Easy to work with, enthusiastic about what they do. They have a love of life and an enthusiasm that's infectious, and that certainly has rubbed off on Rick and I and the whole Choral Arts Ensemble, and through this week the entire community. And so that's been a real blessing to us. Just their spirit and personality has been fantastic.
Residency work is something that's extremely important to us. We find it extremely valuable to not just go into a community for a one-off performance. While we enjoy doing that, we feel it's a much more meaningful experience for us and also for our audiences to be able to partner with them, to build relationships, to really have conversations with them, to get to know them on a deeper level. And that makes a culminating performance much more meaningful, and it affects the way that we play. I think it affects the way that we present a performance, and we hope that it makes a difference to the communities that we're involved with.
In August of 2018, we launched our new education outreach program called Atlas.
Hi, we're the OK Factor, and this is Atlas.
Its goal is to bring tools and ideas to students of all ages to help them find their musical voice and enhance their own creativity.
Okay, let's see how it sounds. 1, 2, ready, hey.
When we come into a school for an Atlas adventure, we give them materials ahead of time to prepare them so that when we're in school with them, they have a foundation of knowledge for us to work with them on. And then our hope is that their adventure continues even after we leave, that they've gained the tools and knowledge that they need in order to go forth and create their own musical adventure. That's our main goal for Atlas.
And I think having Atlas as a part of our residency program offering, we feel like has really enhanced what we can do in a community and the impact that we can have. It's really important to us to foster interest and commitment and exploration in these young musicians because they are really the future of our craft and our art. And we know that it's really important for them to continue on their musical journey wherever it takes them.
Not a scary thing. People make it out to be a super scary thing because you hear saxophone players who solo in jazz and they play like 90 miles an hour and they're going, and it sounds so awesome and you're like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. I could never do that, right? Yes, you can. This is how it starts. They all started somewhere, and I bet you they started with quarter note solos. And there's no shame in that game, right? Because we just proved to ourselves that you can play a solo only on D, and it can sound pretty sweet.
We spend so much time on orchestral music, classical music, even pop music, but there's a very small time for them to do something improvisational or compositional. So getting kind of out of their comfort zones and having to play on the spot and think about ways to play on the spot, it's great, and they broke it down so well for them to be able to do it step by step and be able to do it easily.
You want me to go first so you can show me out, don't you? That's fine. That's fine. Here we go. And a 1, 2, ready, go. Great solo. Let's get ready. That was awesome. Yeah.
I once heard Eric Friesen talk about Bobby McFerrin as having the royal jelly, meaning, you know, the really good stuff, that the finest that's reserved for the queen, you know. And I think these two young musicians, they kind of have the royal jelly. They're a great package. They, you know, the personality, the ability to communicate with the audience, and then just they play. So it's really fun.
We're just delighted to have the OK Factor here this week. It's enriched our community, and we hope it's the beginning of many more collaborations like this.
But I think if you boil it all down, really what we hope to do is make the world a little bit brighter. And that sounds cliche, but cliches are cliches because they make sense and because that's really how people feel. And we truly, in our guts, believe that what we're doing makes a difference, that what we're doing brings purpose and meaning and life to other people. And if we can do that for even one person in any community that we visit, it's worth it. It's worth our while. In addition to the fact that we get to make music every day, and that's a pretty awesome thing to be able to say.